Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Here's Microsoft. Quick peek here at the weekly chart. You can see the price action going all the way back to mid to early 21. On 8 February, my prediction was the price action would remain between these two trend lines, resistance up here at around 430 and support at around 405, 406 with bearish divergence. Turning to today, 12 February, the price action continued upward and my thesis remains the same. Overhead resistance here at around 430 with a likely rejection up there, coming down to retest 406, 405 trendline support. The bearish divergence remains, and so we'll see. I think the price action will top out up here and prices will come back down here. Switching to gold miners, the GDX ETF weekly chart here. You can see the downward trend for GDX. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Here's the gold miners on 8 February. This is a really busy looking chart with a lot of annotations. The main point was overhead resistance here at around 28, and that price would go further downward, hopefully down to this 2660 level. You can see that on the 8th, price made an indecision right here. Let's see what resulted. On 12 February, that's today, since that indecision candle, the entry of this gap proved to be resistance. So you can see that today's candle was rejected there. My thesis remains the same, that this will be a rejection zone, perhaps even up here, and that I'd like for, I think that price will continue downward, perhaps even down to this 25, 80, 26 zone here. For me, this would be a beautiful entry long. So let's see how price will do in the next coming weeks before we decide to go long. Now to XOM Mobil, weekly chart down here, just to give you a view. You can kind of see this curvature here, okay? There's a technical analysis term for that. I think it's like an upside down cup. The cup isn't fully formed yet, so there should be a handle somewhere here, but let's not get too excited to see the formation of that on the weekly candle because it will take a long time for us to see that. On 8 February, you can see the overhead resistance that I've drawn here, as well as a line of support here. My thesis then was that price would get rejected up here and come back down here, pretty much bouncing up and down. Let's see how today's price action resulted. You can see here that indeed price is consolidating. Resistance remains up here, support down here. I did draw a direction. So you see this little arrow here. I think price will consolidate and retest support down here before perhaps attempting to break through the 200-day or this overhead resistance. Switching to Bitcoin, here's the weekly chart. You can see Bitcoin's price action hitting the 50,000s now. I think a lot of people will be getting very excited to see that maybe it will attempt to retest the highs up here in the the high 60s, 60,000s. We'll have to see. I'm not fully convinced. On 8 February, I said that the price action would likely test new highs, at least recent highs, retesting what this was up here in the 50s from before. Because on the 8th, it broke through this trend line resistance, and I felt that it would use it as support. Okay, I did circle here the likelihood of a continued bearishness on the RSI. And let's see how things played out. Since the 8th, which was down here, you can see that Bitcoin continued the bullish move and broke through this upper trend line resistance here. One of the key things is the RSI continues to show bearishness. So despite the near-term high here of 50,000 compared to what it was here, like 49 or so, the RSI didn't make a higher high compared with the momentum action from before. So this downward RSI line that I've drawn here shows bearishness, and I think what will result in that is loss of momentum. Okay, so price will continue to go up. I feel it will fail, come back down, and retest support here at around the 51,000 range. From there, I think it will fail due to this long-term bearish momentum. And then we'll see if it breaks even further below this one, then you might get a discount on Bitcoin and might be able to enter it using a proxy. All right, those are my charts for today. As always, remember that my content is for educational purposes only. It's not investment advice. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And when you subscribe, please do hit the bell icon